Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. A630. I stopped my last show at episode 30, and this show's up to episode 30. So that's 60 episodes. Pretty cool. Also, I have this thing on my face because my lip is swollen up because I got another tooth infection. Directly linked to me trying to become an alcoholic. I'm not sure if you saw this, but I, in the last, I guess, 10 episodes or so, I've been trying to become an alcoholic, drinking heavily, and all of that stuff, as an experiment. So now I'm here to tell you that that's not good. It's not good for you, and I don't want to be an alcoholic anymore. So I'm not saying I'll never drink alcohol again, but, you know, my whole body just started breaking down when I started adding in the spirits, you know. I guess I got enough spirit of my own. I don't need to add spirit. All right, that being said, I'd like to get into the topic of today's conversation, which is this election and the election results and the possible or not possible overturning of the election. One thing I noticed, okay, I was out in D.C. I go out to D.C. frequently. You know, that's where my my former place of employment / hopefully future place of employment is, and I just go there and hang out, you know, watch the numbers, see if I can come back yet. But I also like to go out to the White House, you know, and there was quite a while there where businesses were all boarded up. Some of them got smashed apart. Some of them got broken into. One of the CVS right up the street from my job, the liquor store right above my job. Like, I'm underground and the liquor store is right there, and that got just demolished. Somebody actually broke into my print shop. They got into the building somehow, went down to the lower level, broke into the print shop, and I think they got away with like $40 or something like that. Some bullshit. But yeah, the streets were going crazy because, hey man, Trump's in office. People want him impeached. People wanted him out. People were upset about him bringing people into offices, you know, like Kavanaugh. And I do believe it was the Kavanaugh protest that got the liquor store destroyed up above me. My point of all this is the moment that Joe Biden got quote unquote elected, or the moment the numbers came in for Joe, people started taking the boards off of their buildings. Why did they do that? Why don't they leave the boards up? I mean, obviously, American citizens like to riot whenever they don't get their way, right? No, that's not actually the truth. It's spoiled, rotten, Democratic leftists who go out there and destroy shit when they don't get their way. And every single business owner out there knew that if the Republicans were mad, if the right wing was angry, nothing was going to happen. We're not going to destroy other people's businesses. We're not going to go out there and find left-wing companies and try to tear them down, because we're not that spiteful. We've actually got things going for us, and we don't want anybody to get hurt. We'd like every business to work, every one of them. But unfortunately, that's just the way it is, and I'm surprised that a lot of my friends don't see it. If you're a friend of mine, you should see this. Speaking of, if you're a friend of mine, you should want a fair presidential election, right? Because I like to keep friends who are not liabilities, who don't have dangerous ideals and dangerous thoughts around, because believe it or not, that how a person is in certain other situations can show you how they're going to be in personal situations. Entitled, jealous, friend crazy motherfuckers who don't want you to be friends with these types of people, and possessive, controlling assholes. You don't want those as friends. You don't want those kind of people to be your friends. I know a lot of you don't have a choice because you have no friends. Like, you're probably just so socially inept that you have to take anybody who will be around you, who can tolerate you. That's me too, though. We're all in this together, and we're all the same. You got to stop watching this media because they're going to make you think that what you have to do now is riot. I want you to think deep inside of yourself. I want you to go inside your own mind and ask yourself this question. If you voted for Biden, if you do not want Trump in office, okay? Now that Biden has been announced by the media as the winner, what are you going to do and how are you going to feel if the election gets overturned? You're going to go insane. So many of you are going to go insane. And I'm one of those people who feels for you. Most people on the right will say, fuck them. Let them go crazy. Who gives a shit? What are they going to do? Destroy their town again? Destroy their own city again? Make themselves vulnerable to actual criminals again? Who gives a fuck, right? Let the leftists die. Let them eat their own hearts. But I personally am like, no, they're people. Let's try to save them. Let's try to, to try to kind of nudge them in the right direction. You can't do it with all people, right? You can't. And there's a lot of you who think, well, you can't do it with all people. You can't even do it with most people. You're lucky if you can do it with one person. Just don't even try. Just mind your own business. It is my business, though, because I've always been a sociable person. I've always been the type of person who helps out when two friends are arguing. I'll come in there because for some reason I care. It's just an instinct. You don't have to have the instinct. That's fine. I'm not talking to you, except for when I beg you to not act like a crazy person. Then I'm talking to you. But it's what are you going to do if the election gets overturned? What are you going to do? They say civil war will break out, right? That's a lie, too. Don't listen to that either, because they're just going to tell you civil war is breaking out. What they really want is for the right-wingers to come out to help, because right-wingers are helpful people. So if they hear that there's rioting in the streets and people are getting hurt, they're going to come out there and try to protect those businesses. That's what they do. That's what historically speaking, that's what we've seen. Right-wing gun owners and gun toters protecting businesses from rioters. So the media is going to tell them, oh, look at all these rioters, it's a civil war, and then they're all going to come out, and because it's been labeled as a war, and because they're going to have so many extra people now because of the disappointment factor of not winning when you thought you were going to win, we just may see some actual bloodshed, and we may actually see some battling going on. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see people get hurt. as much as everybody laughs when they see somebody get shot and they go, ha 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 ha, stupid ass, you shouldn't have been there, or whatever, I represent that middle ground of people who just really cares about things that everybody else says I shouldn't care about. I shouldn't care about a tiny, tiny little zygote, right? I shouldn't care about a zygote. But for some reason I do. For some reason. I don't know what it is. I can't explain it to you. But I do know that most of the people that I witness who have that small bit of compassion tend to just be better people. People I can trust, people with the moral capacity not to cheat on their women, basically, is what it comes down to. You don't cheat on your family, and every little tiny seed planted is necessary. Every tiny seed. I don't think we should overpopulate the earth, but I don't think we should be killing babies. I think that people should be responsible for the decisions and choices that they make. And if a life is created, then you, my friend, have just stepped in it. And you got to deal with that shit. Because you didn't keep your eyes open. You were too loose and immoral. Right? Loose and immoral. And that's why you now have a life in your hands, in your body, or in the body of your woman, that you now have to take care of. And if you decide to just chuck that baby in the trash, to chuck that little life in the trash because you don't think that it's worth caring about, or you don't want to go through the hardships that every human in this world should have to go through, you're a self-centered baby. You're a self-centered, spoiled brat. That's what we're dealing with here. And it's those self-centered, spoiled brats that are going to be out there waging civil war if this election does get overturned in the courts. I don't think it will. Honestly. And if Biden's elected, I support my president. I don't care who it is, because I've never cared. There has been a president every year since the United States started, and there will be one after that. There have been groups who hate the president and groups who love the president every time. None of us are special. None of you who hate Trump are special for it. And nobody who fucking hates Joe Biden is special. I mean, there's stuff to hate about everybody. And just because you can point at it doesn't make you special.